Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper, and I am still enjoying my new hobby, which is some sort of masonry, I guess. Got done what I could before I need to quit on Friday. Here's what it looks like. Actually just using these free rocks out of the creek. They get washed down periodically. Gathered up a handful of them and began the first part of this platform. It looks pretty good. I was going to put the next level up, but what I think I'm going to do is start in that corner and work my way back and then drop down over the edge and tie that edge in with here and then begin working on the uprights. One thing with the uprights that I was thinking about is just the weight thing going vertical. I have some of the rocks that are more shaped like this. That's about 1 inch or less for the width. I have some rocks that are shaped like this where they're like 2 inches or so. So you can see the difference. I'm going to be finding the thinner ones to use for the wall. I've got tons of these outside that the children have helped me find. And this will be a good amount, I think, to sort through and figure out for this. And one thing too is, you know, we have children. Sometimes we have guests. I'm using type S for this, even though the only part that's really going to be supporting the wood stove is going to be there in the center where it's not going to be on stone. I'm using the strong type S, which I think is rated for 1,200 pounds as opposed to like type N, which would be 750, because I just wanted it to be as strong as possible. You know, this is only less than 24, well, just over 24 hours old now. But it, you know, I can walk across it, but it's not a play area. It's just a fire prevention thing that also looks kind of nice and rustic. And as time moves forward, I've got a whole plan for redoing a lot of this interior decor, which is why things like that, where I cut a hole in the wall to move the outlet, or things like if you look down at the edge, I never even wiped the concrete residue off the wall. I don't need to. Or even that dent there, that'll be gone too. I've got some plans, so right now I'm just going to build a puzzle, build my pieces, see what it looks like, and then figure it out from there and mix my next batch up. Continuing, this is my #1 priority right now, so I've got to get this done. And I want this done right, built to last, and this prep work to be done before I put in the wood stove. So because of how high up the bottom layer came, a lot of these that I had originally considered for being on the edge layer, I'm not going to have at the edge. And I've picked a number of thinner ones that I've set aside to be used at the edge. And I'm going to start in that corner and work my way back. See what we got here. We'll see. And then, like I said, hopefully trying to save any thinner ones for the vertical runs. Which next time I put them up, I'll be running the scratch coat this way, because that'll work better. Live and learn. Otherwise, you just live. You think that's funny? Hey, it's true, right?
Yeah.
Do you like learning?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing now? You guys are crocheting?
No, we're rolling yarns like this into balls.
Okay.
Because it works better in balls.
Son, I'm recording a video. You might not want to be asking for toilet paper for all the world to hear.
Sorry.
What? So one other thing I'm going to look at, as you can see, you know, some of these are more, as you can see, some of these are more different shapes. Some of these are more square. I'm going to need more of my oddball shapes just because we've got so many different angles through this stuff. So I'm going to sort through some more of my pile, wash up some more of the stones, and I have to figure that out before I can progress. But I do have a pretty good base, you know, starting place here. And one thing too, you'll see on the back walls, I want it touching here so the top piece can rest on top of it. Then I want a space that's going to be able to be used for air. Then I want another one touching, one other place for air, another one touching. So that's why we've got some of this stagger here, and I'll modify it a bit more as we head in. But I want to have a draw behind there for the piece that goes up here to be offset of the wall so there's airspace, and I want like an intake down there. But I also want some shoved up tight for support to help hold the weight of everything I'm putting up here. A lot to kind of figure into this, but some of these are fitting together. I mean, pretty nice for oddball shapes. I just got to find some skinnier ones and some other ones to fill in a lot of these blanks. This is how far I got so far. Thought about doing this 2 nights ago. Thought about doing this last night, but after all of the cutting a hole in the side of my root cellar and the other things interrupting me, I was too tired to do it tonight, and I had too much going on of the day to really get the amount of time that I needed to invest in a job like this. But now I believe that I have the time. So I'm going to start it up and continue this one. And I think maybe I might leave these more defined when I put the next ones up. You know, this one's kind of smooth across here, but perhaps if they were more defined, it would be a better presentation. I can do that. I can transition it. Shouldn't matter. But at least they're laid out. So I'm going to remove the little ones here, mix up my mortar, and this time, due to a popular suggestion, perhaps if my mortar was a little smoother, a little more fluid of a consistency, not like liquid, but not quite so gritty and tough. If I had a little more water in it, it might go better for me. So I'm going to try that because this is a new hobby. This is a new skill. I still don't know. I'll figure it out with your help. So I appreciate your thoughtful, encouraging, full of advice and wisdom comments. I do. I got to get this done. With your help, might be able to do it. So I'm pretty sure this is a better consistency. You see it's a little more like peanut butter, but it's still mortar, so it holds its form. But this might have been what people were telling me I should be using instead for a consistency. So we're gonna give it a try. Real simple, real easy, right baby? Yeah. You wanna go get me my bowl of water and a rag or a sponge to moisten the stones in? Go get them, baby. At this point, each and every one of these has been put in place with some mortar. I still have to come back and grout the spaces between them. You can see on this side a couple of them are off the wall. Same thing here. There's some space there. I'm hoping to leave a space there where air can be sucked up. behind this next layer. It's going to take some thinking and figuring and other things to pull off, but I'm going to work a little bit more on this for a minute and then take a break. I'm pretty much just going to use up whatever mortar I got and then come back and fill in some other things. Whew. Progress though. So I used up the rest of what I had, kind of began grouting a couple of these. I've got a ways to go, but I'm going to give my back a rest. Some of these are heavy. A lot of bent over working in interesting places, but so far I'm happy with this. I'm leaving these a little more defined. If you notice on the immediate one, they're kind of more level. You can see a couple more defined ones here, but for the most part they're pretty level. These ones I'm leaving more defined, and that'll probably be the look I go with on things in the future, for at least for this project. We'll see what other things come into play. So at the moment, I just got done doing some more cutting on priority number 2. That'll be in an upcoming video. But a couple hours ago, I was on an interview for Homeschools and Homesteads, or Homesteads and Homeschools podcast with Mr. Ben. And in the midst of that, he had been talking about something, and I thought of something as he was, you know, give me some sort of compliment about thinking about good ideas or whatever it was he said. At some point it just came to me. Mr. Heath Doty, who's done a lot of rock work, has given me some good pointers on doing my wood stove, masonry for it, and with the wood stove too. Spent a while on the phone with him, but also he's mailing me a grout bag, especially for when I do the vertical stuff. But I thought of something while I was on that interview, and that'll be out in January. I'll make sure to mention it and give you guys a link. But I'm thinking I'm going to use freezer bags, some rather soupy mortar, and bamboo. This bamboo does have a hole all the way through it. Maybe it doesn't. It will as soon as I cut this end off. But I'm thinking of cutting this at an angle, filling a freezer bag with mortar, maybe doubling it up, taping it to this, and then being able to squeeze the mortar through this when it's put at an angle and fill in my cracks in between my rocks. So I'm going to make my own crazy brainstormed mortar bag with bamboo. There's really nothing to the build, but I'll show you it when I got it full and right before I test it, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, cool. And I'm glad I got everything mortared before that, before I needed to do that interview, because that was my only time crunch for earlier in the day. Guys, I honestly don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm optimistic. I think it will. I'm gonna keep my hand back here, make sure it all goes straight into the bamboo, and just slowly squeeze it out where I need to. Let's see if we can get a better look at this. So it is coming out, but it's nowhere near as smooth or quick as I thought it was going to be. I'm just going to put a bigger bamboo on here and see if that can't do it. I was trying to get this one for those hard to reach places, but I might need a larger one. I'm not done. I'm not going to give up. I will say there is a degree to which this works. There's definitely room for improvement. I just got to get this done, so I may go back to the old, is that my eyes or the focus? But I'm just gonna go back to the old spoon method maybe for now. But it does work to a degree. I'll wait for the real one from the, in the mail from Heath Doty. Or not. We actually made some thinner stuff here and got it coming for a better entry point. Before everything converged on that one point, here we have a smooth transition coming up the side. I think this will do. Sometimes I just don't give up. I keep thinking. So let's give this a try first before we quit. Oh yeah, that just fills it in. Wow. Yeah. Ah. Now I wish I had that thinner one for these hard to reach places. Wow. That's so cool. I have to poke that around a little bit, but that'll do. So after that was rather successful, I'm actually going to use the thinner one, hit up the rest of just the grouting layer, and then I'm going to fill in with some of this strong stuff over the center, because that's where the wood stove is actually going to rest. At that point, I think I'm going to call it quits for the day, do the border and maybe the uprights next time, and then we can progress to those big back walls, which is going to be tricky, but I'm looking forward to it. So I will do some touch-up work later, but right now I'm pretty happy with this. Looking forward to the uprights. I've got my rocks stashed over there on the side. I'll do that, and then we'll do the walls. And it's progressing, and so am I. I don't know if you can notice, I'm pointing out right now that back stone in the corner was up at too much of an angle. It's too high. But we're going to have something resting on top there anyway, so I might just notch it a little bit. But overall, I like what we got going on. So that'll be it for this one, guys. I don't know. I might have to go on an adventure or do something besides work for a little bit now that I'm back home with the family. But also, I have to be available because at any moment, Mama Pepper could have the baby. And she might by the time you guys see this, so we'll have to see what all goes on. We'll see you next time. Papa out.